Hey guys, this video is the last in a set of 4 and it's going to be all about product packaging. Now the way a product is packaged probably isn't something that you put too much thought into when you're looking to purchase a new skincare item. So I'm going to go through a couple of key points you should keep in mind, and you may realize it's actually a bigger deal than you probably think it is. So there's 3 types of packaging in general. The first one would be jar packaging. So anything that comes in a container like this with a lid that screws completely off. Okay, so jar packaging. Then we have squeeze bottles. Anything with a pop-up lid that you squeeze the product out, or with a lid that you would be screwing off and squeezing the product into your hand. That would be the second category. And then finally, we have pumps. Anything with a pump on the top. It can be sealed as to where you can't unscrew it, or it could be, unscrewable pump. Okay, so that's the third type. Now, believe it or not, I just listed those in order of worst to best. Jars are the absolute worst type of packaging for skincare products. I'm going to tell you why in just a second. The best ones being pumps. Okay, pumps are better able to maintain the integrity of the products, and again, I'll explain it right now. Okay, so jar packaging. Why is this so bad? For 2 pretty big reasons. One, pretty much all skincare products contain vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, nutrients, things of that nature. All those ingredients I just listed are very sensitive to air and light, okay? Every time you open up this jar, you're exposing the product to fresh air and, of course, light. Most people store their skincare products behind the mirror where it's dark, so they don't have to worry about light in the meantime. But this comes in a clear glass container. If I was to leave this out, on a shelf that just sat there right next to a window for an extended period of time, everything good about this product will be gone very, very quickly. And think about how long it takes to use a product. I'm not using this in a matter of weeks. This might take me a year to use, especially if it's something that you don't use every day. So think about it. Every time I open it, I'm getting fresh air in. I'm mixing the product around every time I take it out with my finger, and it's not going to last for very long. If it was in better packaging, it would be something that would be great for a long period of time. But however, because it's in a clear glass container with a jar opening, it's not going to last for more than a couple months. Or not say it's not going to last. The stability of the product is going to be cut down pretty far to the point where it's going to be useless in a couple months. Okay, so by all means, stay away from the jars. One other thing that you really need to keep in mind with this is bacteria. Every single time that you open this and you get the product out with your finger, you're putting more bacteria into the product. Now, of course, there are stabilizing ingredients and also preservatives in here that will prevent overgrowth of bacteria. But think about it, it's pretty much impossible to have your hands clean to surgical standards every time you use the product, and every time you put your fingers in, you're going to be putting more and more and more and more bacteria in here, okay? So again, jar packaging is the worst, especially if it's a clear glass or clear plastic, okay? Keep that in mind. Moving on, we have squeeze bottles and tubes such as this, okay? These are better, all right, especially if they're opaque, such as this one. Opaque means you can't see through it, light isn't really going to get into it. This one, on the other hand, actually is a clear plastic bottle. So again, every time you use the product, a little air might go back inside, but you're really taking care of the fact of the bacteria problem. You're only taking out a certain amount, and then you seal it up. So that way, it's going to be protected from that factor, okay? So these are a little bit better, but they're not the best. Finally, we have pumps. Now, the very, very best type of packaging is a pump that is sealed, as in you can't unscrew it to take the pump out, okay? However, both of these are the more common type. They have a screw pump on here that screws on and off. But why are these the best? Okay, one, when you squeeze the product out, okay, there's no chance of product coming out and then going back into the container, okay? So absolutely no chance of exposure to bacteria. 2, the amount of air that goes in after you use it is so small each time. There's no free flow of air going in and out of the container. So really, the breakdown of the ingredients due to exposure to air and light and bacteria is significantly reduced, okay? So anything in a pump packaging is going to be the absolute best. Remember, I'm not saying that the product inside of a jar package isn't good. It could be the best formula ever. However, it's the second that you open it and begin to use it is the clock is ticking and it's going down and down and down, as opposed to something in a pump that's going to remain stable for a very long time after you open it, okay? So keep that in mind. It's all very important. Another thing that you might not have known about packaging is that there may be an expiration date printed on it, of course, but some manufacturers actually print the number of months from the time you open it to when you should stop using the product. It's not required in the United States, but it is in other countries. And I'll show you an example right here. It looks like a little jar with the lid cocked open, okay? And it'll say a number with an M next to it, usually like 12M, 24M, 16M, things like that. And that means 12 months from the time you open it, you know, you should discard the product. And I'll show you an example right here. It's kind of hard. It's very, very tiny. Down there in the lower left-hand corner, I think it is, there'll be a little tiny 12M. Okay? And that's just, you may look at it, you know, not all of your products are going to have it, but ones that are sold outside of the United States, it will say that on there. So I just want to make sure you can really see that. Okay? So remember, packaging is a lot more important than you think, and actually it is the end-all be-all of the product. If it's a great formula and you're able to recognize that, you also need to know that the packaging is going to have a very significant effect on how long it's going to last. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.